time, we need to think about it because there's something we can do. So, first of all, the forests are disappearing at a huge rate. And I'm not going to go into numbers here because you wouldn't remember them. And it's sufficient to say forests are disappearing very fast. And as forests disappear, CO2 is released into the atmosphere, carbon dioxide, one of the greenhouse gases. And you get terrible soil erosion, especially in hilly country. And this is affecting the supply of fresh water, which is lessening all around the globe. And so as we're losing forests, we're also losing all sorts of other ecosystems where the same sort of thing happens to a greater or lesser degree. And then there's the pollution. Well, you all know about pollution. You're lucky. I don't think it's terribly polluted here. But you know, I go to places like Beijing and other parts of Asia and Latin America, where the pollution is so bad that people have to wear masks, and the air is so terribly unhealthy as a result of our burning fossil fuels, petroleum and coal and so forth, and industrial emissions and household emissions too. And the agricultural emissions, the agricultural problems include the spraying of chemicals on agricultural land and on the crops, which are devastating the wildlife that lives there, and very often us as well. Moreover, they are washed down from the soil into the rivers and thus into lakes and the sea, polluting the water. And so this pollution, it can be cleaned up. It is being cleaned up in some places. I remember when London was absolutely so stinking and filthy that really you needed a mask there, and nobody thought of it back then. They were called pea supers. And that doesn't happen anymore. There's no more of those pea supers in London. So we don't have to be that way. But nevertheless, pollution is a very major problem. There's the plastic, and the plastic is being washed into the ocean, and it's killing fish. And I'm sure you've heard about these great islands of plastic which won't dissolve for 2,000 years, and as they break down into tiny particles, this is poisoning much of the marine life in the ocean. And in addition to that, and this is one thing which I need to mention, and it's why I carry this little person with me. Her name is Cow. And people say, how is he? And I say, well, if it was he, he'd be called Bull. This is Cow. And Cow was given to me by a little girl in the dairy state of Wisconsin, and I was going to give her away. And then I thought, no, she can work for me. So I use her when I'm talking about the unfortunate fact that as countries get more wealthy, more and more people are eating more and more meat. Not just the meat they need to live, but large amounts of meat and red meat and wasting meat. And as a result of this huge increasing demand for meat, we have these horrific factory farms for animals. And I don't know how much you know about those, but if you've never been to one, I would suggest you don't. And if you've never been in an abattoir, I would suggest you don't, because it is shocking. But if we leave aside the cruelty to the animals, and it's monstrous, it's why I stopped eating meat, for example. But beyond that, as these billions of animals are living in these horrible conditions, more and more grain is needed to feed them. And so old forests are cut down to grow the grain. And then the grain has to be transported, it has to be harvested and transported to the animals. And that uses masses of fossil fuel. And then the animals have to be transported to the abattoir and the meat to the table, more fossil fuel. And in addition to that, the changing of vegetation to animal protein, vegetable protein to animal protein, uses an awful lot of water. And water supplies truly are failing all around the globe. Supplies of fresh water. It's been said the next big wars will be fought over water because we can't live without it. and it's decreasing, and it's becoming more polluted. And in addition to that, when you feed animals, including ourselves, of course, and I pick cow because the food comes in here, and during digestion, gas is formed, and gas comes out this end, and with cows, they ruminate, the gas comes out as belches. That gas is methane, and methane is an even more potent greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. And in fact, the animal industry is said to provide about 18% of these greenhouse gases. And these gases are forming a sort of umbrella or a blanket all around our little planet. That's what's trapping the heat of the sun, and that's what's leading to climate change. There aren't many people in the world today who deny climate change. Just a few oddballs like Donald Trump. Pretty stupid. I know that near here, Lennox Island, you probably know Lennox Island off Prince Edward Island, and there some of the indigenous people are already thinking soon they will have to leave their homes because the level of seas has risen, because the ocean is warming up. And as the ocean warms up, and as the atmosphere warms up, so the ice is melting. Many mountains have lost their ice cap. Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa, it was known for its white snows at the top, and the Great Glacier is almost completely gone. Polar bears, as we know, are having a terrible time. And so with all this ice melting, the level of the sea is rising. And also with this climate change, we're getting strange weather patterns, and more hurricanes, and more droughts, and more flooding. You know all that. And it's pretty shocking. And this animal farming is adding to it. So I need to mention that because of different reasons.